On time and back again for another episode of Minecraft Constructed. If you've already seen the little preload video, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, I'm making a toaster as requested by JabLab, so I might add that in, I might not. But anyway, I'm using, what I'll be using to build this. I actually use polished andesite, black stained clay, and I think it's birch wood and jungle wood. Yeah, for the bread and the toast. Very nice toast, it's very fresh. And yeah, so the first thing I ever do in this is always pick up the items I need. And here we go. I start off by creating the legs. I've actually just loaded up a picture on my laptop when I did this just to make it easier. So I start with a 2x2x2 legs in 4 different positions that are all the same distance from apart on each side. So it's a rectangular shape of what it looks like based on the image. And yeah, there goes my feet. I actually go out an extra layer outside of, well, I basically put a ring around the legs to make an outline of what the toaster looks like, because there's like an outline around it of black, which is quite nice. So here we go, I'd start just filling it up, so I'll probably cut this out. And forgive me for there not being any Minecraft audio, because during recording it, the audio was extremely delayed, so it got kind of mixed up. So yeah, sorry about that. I'll probably just put some background music in or something like I always do. But yeah, I'll just cut this out. So there you go. I finished that small final first layer of black stained clay, and also got up a second layer to start creating a curve. Now, why I did a mistake already right here from the start was that it only curves one way. So it shouldn't curve both ways. So here you go, I'm just adding another outline around it to where the curves are meant to be, but the outline against the toaster, I guess, because there was more than just one. So here you go, I start filling up the wall sides again. There's just going to be a lot of cutting and editing in this video, isn't there? Yes, there is. It's like the third time I've had to say this, because in prior I tried to fix the editing, but it never worked, unfortunately. So here you go, you can see me using the polished andesite, going around on the third layer on top of this black stained clay, and it looks, you know, I like it better than iron blocks, because iron blocks are too dark and too grey, and most toasters in there are like chrome shiny coloured. So yeah, and now I actually do the dumbest thing in the world and start filling up the actual space in this toaster. And to be honest, you don't really need to. You can just leave it hollow, chuck some torches in there if you don't want zombies or skeletons spawning, or just chuck the game on peaceful. But anyway, I'll cut this out because this takes like 5 minutes, and speeding up, and that's a long time. Alright, now that I've actually finished filling it up, even though I didn't really need to, it was at this point where I realized it only curves in one direction, not in 4 directions, if you know what I mean. So there's no, well, it's basically curves like a piece of bread. So there's one that's across the width I had to delete because it was not necessary, and I ended up having to change that on all 4 sides. Thankfully, I only started doing it for like the first 20 seconds of this. Well, 20 seconds I realized, like, oh shit, okay, it's not too bad, yay. So here you go, I'm actually making like an elevated staircase, but I eventually start making it gradual so that it peaks up quite quickly and then slowly reaches to a point where it curves quite nicely and smooth. So I do that on pretty much all 4 corners. I make like a staircase about 3 blocks high, and then I go out by like 2 blocks, then place another block on top of it, as you can see me already doing here. And then the next time I go around and do the same thing, I think it's 3 blocks, then 1 block above it, so basically there's 4 blocks almost in total. I just wanted to get, don't worry about that, never mind. There you go, up by 4 blocks, then go up by another 1. So yeah, that's just a nice way to get a nice gradual curve, and then I just fill the gaps in between. So here you go, you can see the arc of the toaster already being made, and now I'm just filling up the top of the toaster. Now I also had to think about where I'm going to put the slots and where you put your actual toast in. I don't know what it's actually called on the toaster, I'm just calling it a slot. So I had to measure out roughly by eye and how many spaces or how many blocks I wanted. And I wanted the middle part to be the same width as the outside parts of the slots. So I eventually made like 3 blocks away from the edge of this black stained clay, and then it was 5 blocks for 1 slot, then another 3 blocks for the middle bar separated into slots, and then another 3 blocks to make it connect back up again to the black stained clay, which is actually quite nice. It made it look more very, very uniform. So at this point now, it's just me going around and filling up the blocks that I've missed on both the sides, and then I work on the middle part. So I'll cut this out as well. So there you go, you can already see that the toast is already taking shape. It's just that the walls haven't been done yet. So yeah, this is pretty much me for the next, I don't know, I spent about 50 minutes making this, so it wasn't exactly too long. But in that regard, anyway, I'm probably going to cut this out so that you'll see me when I finished all the walls and then I work on the inside of it. So yeah, I'll cut this out too. Alright, so now that I've done the sides of the walls, it's time to do the inside of the walls. And what I should have done is only gone down so far, maybe about 6 or 7 blocks instead of going all the way to the bottom, and then just added black stained clay to make it look like it got dark as it went down. So this is my mistake in actually making it going all the way down, because obviously you don't really need to. You can shave a lot of time by just using the effect of black stained clay or anything that's dark, even bedrock or a block of coal. But you don't necessarily have to go all the way down, but you can if you want to. I'm just saying it now so you don't have to waste time building a lot of these walls. So I'm basically right now just gonna skip all of this out and then go straight onto the part where I actually go the extra mile and actually putting bread. Correct? Yeah, bread. I was about to say toast, but that's wrong. So yeah, putting bread into the toaster. Alright, so now that I've actually finished making the inside walls and of the toaster, I start now making the bread, like the crust, the fresh crust around the bread. But again, you don't have to go all the way down to the bottom. I'll probably cut here to show you how to do the second piece of like toast. I mean, on this one, I go, oh yeah, I should go from the bottom, but here you go. You can actually see me putting in the layer of black that it gives it a bit more easier to look at. And then, if you think about it, you don't... all that time I wasted with the bottom half of that toast, you're not even going to see. So, here you go, you can see me working on the second piece of toast, and, well, piece of bread that's just been toasted, who knows. Either way. But anyway, it's just a lot easier and you can save a lot of time. I mean, even those walls that I built in the inside, you don't actually see because my toast is actually covering it. So, in turn, I did end up wasting quite a lot of time, and I wish I had used this prior so I can do this well, I will be doing this in future videos, but in this regard right now I wish I knew it back then when I actually started the very first piece of bread, or even started doing the inside of the walls. But anyway, so there you go, you can actually save time by putting down black stained clay or anything that's really dark. I mean, it's really black in this one because it's Strax's texture pack, but obviously I've carved my time roughly in half because now I'm working with a lot less blocks. I don't have to place down as many as I could before. Although you could have like a mod like extra utilities that gets like the builders want, which obviously saves a shit ton of time. There is in-game stuff as well, but I'm not exactly sure how to do those commands as of yet. I will try and do my utmost when that time comes around. Also, I want to get like this cinematic like mod where I get like a second account and basically do what Shin does for his Let's Build channel, or his Let's Builds. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I may or may not what was I gonna say after that? Wow, I never had anything else planned. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I salute to you. Bye!
then it's like from there on out it's just screaming.
Starting, but I'll probably run through this game very quickly. Metroid Zero mission.